What's up, everybody? Mike Lindsley with you. It's an ML Sports Take. It's all brought to you by Camillus Golf Club and our great friends at Stumbling Monkey Brewing Company. So I'm watching my one-year-old son today. I hadn't been on social media for, 4 minutes or so, God forbid. And my man John Kilb, good friend of mine, sends me an Adam Schefter tweet text. And I didn't even, I didn't click and look at it. I just glanced quick and I said, oh, it's got to be an NFL thing. I click on it, and it's the news that I couldn't believe that I was getting. I couldn't believe that I was reading this, that our man Woj, Adrian Wojnarowski, is going to step away from ESPN to accept the GM role, general manager, with the Bonnie's basketball program, and Mark Schmidt. And so as a GM, Woj is going to serve the coaching staff. He's going to manage a lot of different responsibilities, right? A huge range in this ever-changing climate. You got NIL with the name, image, likeness. You got the transfer portal, recruiting, family, alumni, player relationships, pro player programs, and fundraising, and that probably doesn't even end it, right? What I love the most about this, it's twofold. Threefold. One, it's Woj, and he's a Bona guy. I mean, there is nobody more Bonaventure than him, just like there's nobody more Bonaventure than Bob Beretta, who comes in as the athletic director, right? Like, we need Bona people to be like the Bona future, and people who understand Mark Schmidt and the goals and the Franciscan values and who we are, what we're striving to be in the future, what we've always been. The tradition, all these different things, right? And a lot of that, yes, it helps to go to school there. It helps to be a Bonnie. Sometimes it comes from other people, though, who haven't gone to Bonaventure, who have become, look at Mark Schmidt, right? He's a Boston guy. Now you would think of him as nothing besides a Bonnie at this particular point. So I love that part, number one, for sure. Number two is I love the fact that he is, coming from his NBA news releasing position with the contacts he had and the big brand and all this sort of stuff. I mean, he even said it in his quote, or Bob Beretta, I think, had even said it too. Like building, all those relationships and seeing, up front, how to build these programs at the NBA level. College sports really is 2.0, pro sports 2.0. I don't care if you're Duke, I don't care if you're Bonaventure, I don't care if you're Syracuse, Michigan State, or Kentucky, or if you are Pittsburgh in college football, or if you're Georgia in college football. General managers are getting hired left, right, and everywhere in between because it is pro sports 2.0. And when you think about the connections that he's built with now I don't, like, everybody knows I hate the NBA, but there's no secret to the greatness of the franchises recently of, the Warriors and the Lakers and the Spurs, right? I mean, you know about that even if you don't follow the league at all. I mean, I haven't watched more than 5 minutes of an NBA game in forever. I can't stand the league. But when you look at those franchises and the fact that Woj is inside the walls of everything NBA, from, the Woj bombs and the draft and all that sort of thing and breaking news, when you're at these games, you're talking to everybody. You're talking to the scouts and to head coaches. You're talking to GMs. You're talking to owners. You're learning about the framework. You're learning about everything, how all the dots are connected behind the scenes in terms of an NBA franchise when you're doing things the way Woj was, when you knew and still know as much as he does about the NBA and how everything works step by step by step. And he can utilize that building aspect and that knowledge and put it into Bonaventure, man. And I love that part of it. The third thing I love about this is we are in a wild world of college sports. I mean, athletes can jump from lily pad to lily pad and go to 3-4 schools during a college career. We have NIL, we have the portal, we have conference expansion. And while I've noted that, hey, football is over here and football's football, and I understand that it drives the car and all the rest, I love that we still are who we are. Like, we know who we are, right? We're an A-10 school. We're basketball. We're the Bonnies, period, end of discussion. We know our size of the school. We know all the challenges. We know who we are, kind of a thing. But having said that, Bonaventure is still in this world. I mean, it's not like it's foreign. It's like, oh, well, they're all doing it, but we aren't. And I think taking a chance and going way outside the box is a great thing. Yeah, some people might think that it's not outside the box because it's Woj. You say, oh man, what a great hire. It's Woj. I'd hire him to do anything. Most of everybody I know for Bonaventure, we think of the Mike Vaccaros and the Chris LaPlacas and the Adrian Wojnarowskis and Donna DeTotas and millions of others, and Bonaventure connected. And if we know them and we feel like they're brothers and sisters to us, and it's the same way with my classmates and dear friends of mine who I went to school with. I would tell them, yeah, I'd hire Matt Motika and Bill Hoppy, and I'd hire Owen Gregg for this, and Dan Davidson for that, and Dave Russ for that, and all my closest people, right? I'd hire all them right now, right? They're my closest people, So we immediately be like, well, yeah, that's duh. He's a Bona guy. Just hire him, whatever. But it does go beyond that in terms of this news was shocking to me today. And I think it was shocking to a lot of other people that not only would Woj retire from his post at ESPN, but that Bonaventure was looking at a person like Woj. Forget about the Bonaventure thing for a second, but think about Woj as like Adam Schefter, or think about him as an Elliot Friedman in hockey, or think about him as a Jeff Passan in baseball. Like that gig, that role, that insider in media. And I know Woj was starting to kind of get into, and now it all makes sense, doesn't it? Where he was kind of getting into the NIL thing and, trying to raise some funds for Bonaventure was kind of just the first stepping stone. But the fact that they would kind of go toward this person, role, media guy, insider, and a lot of things are connected in sports and in media now, right? Like PR to broadcast and broadcast to this and marketing to that. And what Woj was doing clearly, in the NBA and behind the walls, inside the walls, I should say, is connected to this. But to be able to see that and to be like, you know what, maybe we should just go outside the box and do it this way. I love it. And frankly, I'm going to make an analogy here. Everybody knows I live in Central New York. Syracuse hiring Fran Brown as head football coach is very similar to this, in my opinion. There were coaches out there like Dan Mullen and others. If you need some leadership. You need a guy who's coached before, maybe a Power 5 guy who's going to understand NIL, who knows the Northeast and understands actual football tradition and blah, blah, blah. They hired a guy like that. The only thing is they didn't hire a guy with the head coaching experience, but they hired a big-time recruiter. They hired a guy at a big-time program at Georgia. They hired a guy who was from the Northeast. They hired a guy who understands the tradition. So he checked all the boxes except the head coaching experience, but they went way outside the box in terms of hiring a specialty coordinator coach, which is what he was at Georgia, winning 2 national championships. That was way outside the box by John Wildhack, who, by the way, I can't wait to talk to at the Dome Friday about this thing with Woj, because he worked with him a bunch, of course, at ESPN. This was amazing news today. And I think that I can share with all of you who are watching right now, and please share this video out there. Subscribe to my YouTube channel at ML Sports Platter. I've already got a couple of emails in to try to get Adrian on my show. I think this was an unbelievable move, and I think I share with all of you that this is going to be a huge thing for St. Bonnie. It was surprising, shocking, rewarding. I'm proud every day of this school, and to be an alum of this school and to have a degree in, I gotta hang up my degree somewhere in here, but it just was an amazing feeling getting this news. And I'm so happy for him, and I'm so happy for Amy and the family, and I'm happy for us. I'm happy for Bonaventure basketball. I'm happy for Mark and his assistants. I'm happy for Bob Beretta and everybody down there who's working tirelessly to try to get this thing, not in the right direction, but try to get this thing into a point where I think all of us can kind of not relax, but, have some sustainability in terms of, okay, where is Bonaventure in this climate, right? Like the small school thing and the small campus and enrollment and the A10 and da-da-da-da-da, the TV deals, all that. Like, where are we in this world? I think he's going to be able to settle a lot of that. I think he's going to be able to help with a lot of that. And he's a class act. He's an unbelievably hard worker. He knows the school like the back of his hand. He cares like no other. And, my favorite Woj Bona thing, and I haven't had him on my show in years. In fact, I've never met Woj. I missed him a couple of times at games. but hopefully I'll play in like the Coaches versus Cancer next year, or I'll see him at a game soon or something. I've had him on the show, a bunch of times. Hopefully when I get him on, I can do the video thing so we can be like, hey, that kind of thing. But the in-person handshake is obviously a lot more important to me. But what's crazy is, I haven't had him on in so long, but the thing that with him too is that what I was going to say is my favorite ever thing of him with Bonaventure is when they made the tournament, and I think it was 2018 or maybe it was 2012. I got to go back and find the photo, but it might have been through like the A10 tournament, and they had won a game. Maybe it was the semis or maybe they won the tournament. I don't know, but it's out there with him, and somebody snapped a shot at ESPN of him going like, walking through the hallways, putting like a big thumbs up, like he was going crazy over the victory. So I did not expect this today. I really didn't. And can we argue, unless something comes up, that this is the biggest sports story of the day because it's Woj? I mean, it's the lead story on ESPN. It's the lead story on multiple other websites. It's kind of a slow day in sports. It's a Wednesday. There's no NFL. There's no major injury. There's no college football tonight. I don't know. It's awesome. Congrats to Woj. Super happy. Super happy for him. ML Sports Take, Camillus Golf Club, and Stumbling Monkey Brewing Company bringing it to you. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel at ML Sports Platter. And as I always tell you, enjoy the games.